Welcome to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship, where we keep it real about what it takes to build, grow, and thrive. Here, you'll hear the unfiltered journeys of women entrepreneurs from everywhere. The wins, the setbacks, the lessons, and the behind the scene truths of aligning, starting, and scaling our businesses with purpose. Because let's be real, this road ain't always pretty. From battling self-doubt to juggling responsibilities and facing the pressures to have it all figured out, this hustle can be pretty heavy. That's why this space exists, to fuel you with the motivation, drop strategic gems on the topics that matter most, and remind you you are not in this alone. This is the Woman's Hustle. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Woman's Hustle, Thrills and Spills of Entrepreneurship. It's your girl, Coach K. Y'all know the drill. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you see my lovely face. If you're listening on your favorite streaming platform, then make sure you are favoriting the Woman's Hustle so you do not miss the new episodes because they have been amazing. And today's is going to be no different. Listen, this guest that I have with me today, we have been trying to record forever. So if y'all get a little more animated in this episode than you might be used to, don't even worry about it because it's a long time coming. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Hey.
Hey, thank you, Coach K, for having me on and for still having me on after all the things between both of us having to finally get this done. I'm Lisa, right? I'm telling you, we wait for life to stop life and we'd be,
Facts.
I am Lisa Marie. I'm known as the Sassy Wealth Queen. I am the founder of Transcendent Wealth. I work with entrepreneurs, business owners, and creators who are making the money, but they're missing something on how to multiply it. And that's where the missing piece comes in on the managing. So I help them find profit leaks. I help them manage that money so they can multiply it based off of their values and their goals. And I do that holistically as well because money mindset management go hand in hand. So wealth codes are my thing, and it involves the spiritual, the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the financial. And that's what I do. I'm here to kick money taboo to the curb. I have my own podcast, Cash and Sass, and that's what we do. And I've been waiting to talk to Coach K for so long.
This has been a long time coming, y'all, because y'all heard she said mindset. So y'all know I get so excited when I get to talk about mindset, whether it's money mindset, spiritual mindset, emotional mindset, anything mindset. Y'all know I get so excited about that. So to be able to vibe out.
They all play a hand.
They do. And we're going to talk about
money and everything.
We're going to talk about all of that, y'all. This is what the Woman's Hustle is all about, to give you guys strategic insight on whatever level you are in on your entrepreneurial journey. First off, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your backstory, Lisa. Like, what got you started and where you are today? Because talking about money and mindset and things like that, I know there's got to be a backstory behind that.
There is. I grew up being told, believe it or not, well, I'm a Gen X. So I grew up being told that if you weren't born into money and you didn't come from money, you'll never have money. I grew up being told that you'll middle class, you're going to work, you're going to go home, you're going to pay bills, you're going to go to bed, you're going to go work next day, you're going to pay bills, you're going to go home, you're going to go to bed, wash, rinse, repeat. And I believed it. I mean, you hear something so often, you end up believing it, right?
Right.
And I lived it. And so for so long, subconsciously, I was afraid of bringing in extra money because if I brought in extra money, something bad was going to happen because I wasn't born into it and I didn't marry into it, right? It's this mindset that we're around. And I always knew I was meant for more. And then I still was second guess and I got so tired and I worked corporate and all the things and barely making ends meet, literally living it. Okay. Barely making ends meet.
Yeah.
Don't know how I'm going to put food on the table. If I am putting food on the table, what bill am I not going to pay? I'm 52 and before I turned 40, I've had a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So I've been through Chapter 7 bankruptcy, 2 foreclosures, a short sale, and several repossessions. So I know a thing or two about rebuilding credit and starting over and, okay, I'm tired of this. Why isn't this working? And then I was laid off in 2016. I believe it was a God intervention because I wouldn't have left my job otherwise. I was having migraines. I was having tension headaches. I will tell you, I'm pretty sure I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I was done. I was working 50, 55 hours a week. I was never seeing my kids. And I kept hearing a voice that it was now or never, and you are needed at home. And so I had one last vehicle repossessed. I am happy to say one last vehicle, and it was voluntary. I called them and told them to come get it, which was really scary.
Yeah.
Got on food stamps because I needed to feed my kids. My kids were on Medicaid, so I was on state assistance.
Right.
Cashed in what little bit of 401k I had, which I promised was not much. By the grace of God, my landlord agreed to prorate my rent until taxes came in that following April. So it was in September 2016 to April. And I didn't look back. And so I started my business and it grew. You know, I have accounting background. I have the tax background. So, of course, I went into what I knew. Well, figured out very quickly I didn't want nothing to do with taxes. That was seeming of a headache. Nothing to do with them. And I also realized at the end of the year that even though I made this money, I was broke.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, there's got to be something that I can do. And I was starting to manage it, but it wasn't really being managed quite right. And that's when I dug in and I started reading all the mindset books I could that I could come across. And I even read Profit First. And I love the mythology of it. That's actually what triggered some of what I do now. And then I read A Pocket Full of Money, and I read some other books. And then I came across this mindset coach, and I swear to you, I cannot remember her name, but she was on Facebook, and she was talking about our subconscious minds and what our relationship is with money. Yeah. And I was like, relationship?
Right.
What do you mean relationship? And she goes, what was it? She said, do you hate money? And I was like, well, no, I don't hate money. I don't have a bad relationship with money. I was like, what are you talking about?
What are you right?
She said, well, do you say thank you when you spend your money and have to pay a bill? And y'all,
she would have got the craziest look from me back in the day. Like, what? I'd have just cut her off right there.
I looked at her and went, why in the hell would I say thank you? And she was like, how can you say you love money if you don't want? And I went, excuse me? She said, money's supposed to flow in and out, right? If you can't have gratitude for having the money to pay the bill, then why would money keep flowing back? And y'all, what you did right there, my face went, all of a sudden my face went,
yeah.
Well, shit.
Facts.
Well, a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
And now I would love to say that everything changed immediately overnight, right. Okay? And it was all hunky-dory and I made millions of dollars. No, that's not how this works.
Right.
Okay? However, it was the change. It was the switch.
Yeah.
Can I tell you how I was already tipped over. She said that and I dove nose first into everything and anything of our subconscious stories, mindset. How does it affect how we talk about money, the relationship with money? What is that supposed to look like? Money being energy, money being a tool, how money amplifies, and learning that, okay, money amplifies who we already are. So it's not going to make us bad and evil. Hello. I used to think that. And it's a tool. And it's energy. And if we have this dance relationship with money, and that's what I like to look at as a dance relationship, because we go this way and we go this way. So it flows in and out, right? As a dance partner, you're swinging in and out, right? So if we have this dance relationship and we're appreciating that we have the money to put gas in our tank, to buy the food, to pay for rent, to pay our coach, to pay our team. And we appreciate and celebrate when the money is coming in as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much. If you get a commission for $5, you dance and you be grateful.
Yeah, you
If
be
you get,
grateful.
if you get money from TikTok, y'all, I'm a creator on there. So I'm a live creator on there and I'm getting paid on. So if you get $50, whatever it is, you get paid
Exactly.
thousands, whatever. Because again, it's money. So, right, the more you celebrate, the more. And I'm not saying have gratitude to money and worship money. That is not what I'm
No,
saying.
no. Right.
That is
I get
not
what you're
what
saying.
there's some
And they
people
do
who
too.
think that, but
No,
there's some
but it
people who
is.
go, "Oh, you're wanting to worship." No, that is not what I'm
No,
saying.
you
But
know,
what I'm
no.
saying is be thankful and have the gratitude, because think about it. If we get pissed every single time we got to pay something, then we're acting like we hate money. We don't want it.
And
So
we hate
why
our
would
lives,
it
we
come?
hate money, we
Right.
hate
We
everything.
hate our
Like,
lives. We
yeah,
hate money. We hate everything. So why would God, universe, source, or anyone bring more to you?
right.
Why? And
Yeah.
as soon as she was saying that, I was like, and I've read, I know, tons of books.
Yeah.
And I took the concepts. There's some things I don't agree with. Okay. I'm Southern. I'm sassy. There's just some things I'm not going to agree with.
But I think that it's important that you created it and made it your own, right?
Mhm.
Because that's what it sounds like. You took everything,
I
took
did.
the
There's
things.
like 5 different ways to budget, right?
Yeah.
Like there's the profit first, there's the, I don't know, 75, 25, or what is it? 70, 25, 15, something like that. There's like a
Oh,
percentage.
right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then there's the one like Dave Ramsey used it, and I don't like Dave Ramsey, but I'm going to put it. He does it just, you give every dollar a job, spend to zero. He also used to do the envelope system. That's the reason why I loved Profit First, because to me, Profit First was an envelope system, just digital, because it was a bank account. I could wrap my, because I remember doing the envelope system. That's our age. I
Yeah.
remember us having to go to the ATM to pull money if we wanted to do anything, or
Yeah.
actually go into the bank and pull money to do anything, because we didn't have ATM cards and things like that. So if we
Definitely
wanted to
didn't.
save, we had to do the cash, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember that, and that concept, it clicked. But what I did is there were some things I liked about that. There's some things I liked about this. There's some things I liked about that. And I didn't like this and I didn't like that. And I took what I liked and I
Yeah.
smashed it together.
Hey, and made it your own. I
And I
love
made
it.
it my own.
Yeah.
And what's so beautiful about that is it can then be tweaked based on your values, your goals, and where you're at in your lifestyle and where you're at in your business. And it'll probably look slightly different than the way it does on mine,
Right.
because of my values, my goals, and my lifestyle. So it's not a cookie cutter.
Yeah. I love that. And I want to touch on that, because I think we get so wrapped up in seeing somebody do something a specific way. And then we just automatically feel like we're supposed to replicate, duplicate, whatever y'all want to call it, automatically, word for word, play by play, strategy by strategy. And that's
don't
where
work
we
that
come
way.
in as coaches, because we are going to align what works best for you. Yeah, you may see me, and I've been getting this a lot more. People like, oh, you've been doing great with the podcast. I want to start a podcast. That's great. However, what do you want to bring to your podcast, right? What are you bringing? If you're coming to talk about celebrity gossip or things like that, hey, that's not you being your authentic self. So, but I love that you're talking about that, Lisa, because you're really just unraveling so many of the myths that we have grown up with money. You know what I'm saying? Like unlearning those things. You literally had to go in, unlearn, relearn, recondition, and really just put the things, policies in place that were going to help and benefit you. And that's something I had to do for myself. I had to do it from a personal perspective first. And then once the personal perspective came in and the mindset was reconditioned, it's now like, okay, because I see things differently and I look at things differently. I don't look at money the same. I don't look at, how I spend it the same. I also, as an entrepreneur, understand that there's a difference between making the money and actually spending the money, but also bringing in money to become wealthy. And I know that that's something that you focus on, because like you said, we make money all day, but if you're still claiming you're broke, if you're still not profiting, you know
Then
what
your
I'm saying?
mindset, there's
Where's the
something in your,
disconnect? Yeah, where's the
Mhm.
disconnect? I'd love for you to share more about that.
Well, and honestly, it'll be a mindset, but it'll also be what I call a profit leak.
Mm,
Because a profit leak can be allocation of assets, meaning where you're spending your time. So, like your spiritual wealth.
yeah.
Are you spending time with yourself? Are you meditating? And yes, spiritual can be religion, but I'm not talking about religion. I'm
Right,
talking
right.
about faith. I'm talking about faith in yourself, faith in God, faith in whatever, okay?
Right.
Whatever
Yep.
that looks like. And there's no right or wrong answer.
Yes.
For me, it started coming back to bringing me back to having faith in myself, having faith in God, and having that time, right, to do some spiritual work, but also to be in the quiet,
Yeah.
right? Because life is lifing and we get so fast paced and we go, go, go. I consider being wealthy and being rich, two different things.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Rich, you got tons and tons of money, great, fine, but you probably are still broke and miserable. Okay. Being wealthy is being wealthy in those 5 areas of the wealth codes, which again is spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, and financial.
Yes.
And to me, being wealthy is having the freedom to choose that I'm not going to work today because I'm going to go take my daughter to an appointment, or I'm not going to work on Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays during the summer because it's the summer. Summer's too short and I love the sun, which, by the way, is true. I don't. And it took a couple of years for me to start doing that.
Yeah.
And y'all, oh my gosh.
Hey, the discipline that came with that, I
if
could only
corporate
imagine.
could see me now, because during the summer I work 2 days a week, and by God, if it ain't raining, I am somewhere outside in the sun and I'm enjoying it. Okay, like every week, it doesn't fail. But then, okay, emotional, right? Who are you spending your time around, right? Or your mental? One of the things that I had to recognize was that I was always stressed. I was always anxiety. And I was like, okay, why? Okay, well, because one of the people I live with listens to the news several hours a day. And I got to the point to where I was like, huh. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. They were out of town. I turned that TV off and I didn't watch news for 2 days. Y'all.
Changed your whole trajectory.
My whole demeanor changed. That right there let me know, okay, it's environmental. So one of my mental wealth leaks was that. So now I have a boundary. I will watch 30 minutes of local news, if that.
Yeah.
And
you good.
only
I don't watch
that.
it at all. I don't watch it
And
at all.
that's it. And majority of the time, I don't watch it at all. But if I'm going to watch it, it's only the 30-minute local news. And then if anyone else is going, I walk out of the room. Yeah. If they want me to stay in the room, I say, can we please change this? If they say no, I put my headphones on and I leave.
And I leave out. And
that's my boundary.
Boundary. You just took the word right out of my mouth.
It's a boundary.
You have to have those, y'all. Y'all hear me talk about it a lot from a mental perspective, but I love that she said the 5 codes. You have to have it holistically.
You have to have it on all of them.
You can't have peace over here and say you protecting your peace over here, and yet and still you got all this chaos going on still over here. It will not align. It will not work. I don't care if you're making money, because like she said, it's a difference between rich and wealthy. And wealthy is a holistic thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to consciously understand that those are the things that you are going to have to shift and change if you're wanting to grow your business, if you're wanting to grow on a personal perspective. Because one thing that I know I have definitely done on this journey as an entrepreneur is grew from a personal perspective. Things that I used to do before I started this journey, I don't even like anymore. I used to hate outside. I'd be like, oh my God, the bugs. I don't want to get the bugs, man. You'll catch me outside all day, every day when it's warm. You know what I'm saying? Like, the shifts that I have done are also from the financial perspective as well. In the beginning, I didn't pay myself, as an entrepreneur when I got money. I was like, oh, I got to pour all that in.
Listen, if I'd have known you then, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. That changed. That changed, baby. Oh my God. But
But
like,
but that's
yeah,
the thing too, because Coach K is here's the thing: is people go, okay, well, I'm wealthy in my mental because I don't do this. Great, okay. Are you wealthy in your spiritual or your emotional or
right.
your physical or your financial? Because here's the thing: if there's a leak in one or two of those, I can guarantee you it is leaking over into the other ones. That's the
Tell them
reason why there's
again.
5 wealth codes.
Tell
And
them
the reason
again.
why I named those the 5 wealth codes is because I've been able to see how they all intertwine. When I started taking care of my physical health, my business skyrocketed.
Yeah.
When I put my physical health first, my business skyrocketed. So that's the reason why physical wealth is in there, because
Yeah.
having physical health means you're wealthy physically. That I don't mean go become some huge fitness guru and start bodybuilding and all that. I don't mean that. That is not what I'm talking about. However, if you don't drink a lot of water
Yeah.
and you probably need to cut back on soda or tea or whatever, and you probably need to drink more water, okay, well, start drinking more water. I don't mean start drinking 80 ounces tomorrow. If you're not drinking 40 ounces, you don't need to make the goal of 80, okay?
Right.
But
Right. Yeah.
start making that goal, okay? If drinking plain water just doesn't work for you, like it does not work for me, um, I found something that did. I kept doing it until I found something that did, and I have all natural electrolytes. That's not no sugar, no caffeine,
Yeah.
vitamin B, everything in there, and it tastes like I'm drinking Kool-Aid all day. And they have different flavors, but the only one I like is watermelon because I'm picky.
And you can
It
be.
it is what it
Yeah.
is. But it's what's in here, and I can drink 50, 60 ounces of water a day because it tastes like Kool-Aid to me,
Yeah.
right? And so, that's the key. Then if you're not eating as much protein, okay, just change it a little bit.
Yeah.
Figure out how you can change it. If you're not doing anything but being a couch potato, okay, go walk for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I started doing those things, and now, yes, I do work out 4 days a week, and yes, I am doing cardio the other 2 days out of the other 3 that I don't. That's my decision, y'all. I
Yeah.
do that for mental and physical. Let's just be honest,
Hey, and
okay?
it's needed. It's
That
required. It's
listen,
necessary.
my mental my mental health will go into the toilet if I am not working
Hey,
out,
I'm
okay?
telling you.
But that's the key, is you got to be able to be able to see those things. And
Yeah.
that's the reason why having a lot of people say, when they think about the profit leaks, it's not where you spend the money. It could be for
Yeah.
financial, but it's like allocation of assets, like your time and your energy, and it's where could there be some of those profit leaks
Mm-hmm.
there. It's awareness of values. Awareness of values is one of them. Okay.
Sure.
Are your values aligned? Because it are your values aligned in your spiritual, your emotional, your mental,
Right.
your physical? Because listen, there are a lot of times they're not. Now, I am also going to say, because I know Coach K will agree with me, and I know she's probably said it, you work on it and then you think you're grand. That's not how this works.
At all. It is an
I
ongoing and
have to work
forever
on
process.
really listen. I'm going to tell you something. If I did not have to work out,
I,
and I could stay mentally sane and stay physically fit,
yeah.
the best fitness that I've ever been at my age, and I'd be do not think I would ever lift up another weight,
Hey, people
okay?
don't
Because I
get it.
wouldn't.
People don't
I
get it.
wouldn't.
A lot of times we don't do some of these things because we want to do it.
We
We
do it
do
because
it.
we don't like how we feel if we don't.
You better say it. You better say it.
That's what
And
I
I
tell
think even
everybody.
with
They're like, "You
me,
like doing this?" No, I don't like how I
no.
feel when I don't.
No, and I have to tell people, like, it's no longer a motivation thing for me, right? It's a discipline thing,
Mhm.
because
It's a non
discipline,
it's a non it is a
non-negotiable.
non-negotiable. It is a
Anything that you're
non-negotiable.
doing from a personal, professional, entrepreneurial perspective, there has to be some form of discipline, people.
Mhm.
There has to
Mhm.
be a level of it. You can say, "Oh, I'm just not motivated." I'm not motivated on some days either, but guess what? I got to get up. That's where the discipline kicks in. So I've been really trying to take the word motivation out of my vocabulary as much. Again, mindset shifts, it continues to elevate, because it's not a motivation thing. It's a discipline thing. I got to do it even when I don't want to do it. And when you're trying to structure business, when you're trying to scale in business, there are things that you have to be disciplined enough to do, even when you don't want to do it. When it comes to hanging out, you might want to take a trip with your friends and stuff like that. If you're trying to, you got to make those type of sacrifices, right? And if these are your friends and they don't understand that you're making a sacrifice for the growth of your business, but also for you as an evolving individual, you may have to question that circle too, but that's a whole nother episode, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about that.
Listen, we can go. But that's the other thing too. We can do a whole nother episode on that one.
That part.
There's the thing too is once you work on your mindset, you're still going to keep working on your mindset.
It is exactly that.
One of the things that I've learned is having tools to help. So like a lot of people kept telling me, go journal about the money, go journal. Y'all, once I get in my head, there ain't no blasted journaling. I'm in my head. I'm done. I'm just being honest. And I was I kept thinking something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
Because people are like, oh, just write it out. Y'all, once I'm in my head, there is no writing it out. Okay. I don't know how to explain that. And I had a mentor 2 years ago, and she said something, and I'm telling you, actually it was a year and a half. It was a game changer for me. She goes, I told her, I said, for the love of God, do not tell me to write it out. When I get in my head, she goes,
I ain't thinking
you're like me. When you get in your head, there is no writing it out. And I went, exactly. She goes, okay, well then dance it out. Huh? Again, these funky looks that I give, like,
right.
And she said, turn on some music. Doesn't matter. It did whatever in that moment you want, and you'll know because you'll just choose this and you'll play. She said, and dance it out. She said, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. The key is to move your body.
Mm-hmm.
And when you move your body, so like her, what she does every day, and she does it as a practice. So every morning, that's how she starts her day, is she does this music to where she's flowing through her body and she'll move like this, right? If you're angry, it can be a fast paced thing. She said, it don't matter if you kicking, it don't matter if you're beating something in the air when you're doing it. I was like, I'm going to look silly. She said, honey, if you don't look silly, you ain't doing it right.
Hey.
I was like, huh.
Well,
and she said, try it. She said, dance it out. She said, the key is, she said, you need to feel your feelings. Yes. Mm-hmm. And move the energy out, which is for a lot of people's writing. You're like me. Once you get in your head, you're not going to write because you're already in your head. It's too late. Right. Yeah. So if you dance, you're moving your body, you're getting the energy out. Y'all.
Changed the whole game.
That was a complete game changer. I love it. 9 out of 10 times, if I dance it out and I get it out, I'm able to go on my day. It ain't stuck in my head. I'm not overthinking it. And I will be able to journal, whether that's writing a couple sentences, whether that's what I will be able to then write whatever it is I want to write out, and not writing about whatever was in my head.
Yeah.
Writing affirmations or whatever to remind me of who I am and where I'm going. That. And sometimes that'll be listening to something that I've recorded, which is called my let me try that again. My I am statements. And my coach, he said, record them. He said, write them, record them.
Right.
In your voice, and then you can go listen to it. And and it's like a 2-minute thing, and you listen to it, but you're hearing yourself.
Yes.
Tell you, I am powerful. I am a great mother. I am an awesome business owner. I am divine money, whatever it is. You're hearing yourself say that because it's your voice. You're going to believe it, right? You're going to do that. Again, it's like you're retraining your brain.
It's video for me. Like I love that I'm not the only person that does that. Like I will record myself literally video. Like I'm on video so much now, it's kind of a default for me. So like when I'm having those moments, I used to
not like to hear myself talk. Y'all.
Me either, yo. Me either. And now
so I would listen to myself.
I did not. And people be like, how you used to talk all the time. I know, but I don't like to hear myself. My voice didn't
listen.
sound right to
I
me.
can talk.
Yeah.
I can do videos. I can do recordings all day, but I'm not. Then they're like, but go back and listen to them and see what you could do better. No. They're like, but why not? I am not
Hey,
going to
I've
go
been to
listen to
deleted the whole.
myself.
Yeah, I've been to deleted the whole thing. But I do it like you do for affirmations, like audio wise. I do
would
video.
start over. we would never get an episode recorded.
Ever. I would never get anything published. I'd have so many drafts.
Right?
Yeah, sitting there just looking crazy. Listen, y'all. I told y'all we was gonna be really animated in this episode, but in the midst of our animation, there was a lot of gems dropped in this episode. And Lisa, before we get ready to wrap up, I would love for you to just share with the listeners something that you recommend really like maybe evaluating and just like really having people like really sit with themselves. Like what type of things do you recommend them doing, especially when it comes to them wanting to build wealth, not money, wealth?
Okay, so there's like two things. Okay, if you're wanting to build wealth, take the 5 wealth codes, just write them down, and just ask yourself how you're spending your time, your values, where your assets are, those kind of things, meaning how you're spending your time, what you're doing, how you're spending your money in those areas, any of the things. Okay, no judgment, but just look at them, and just see, am I doing it aligned with my values and my goals? Now, the cool thing about that, you'd be like, Lisa, I'm not going to remember any of this. I have what I call a wealth wins checklist, and it literally walks you through it. And it's free. Yes, you have to opt in for it, but it's totally free.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of that, it was so you can sit down and say in those 5 wealth codes, and it'll ask you questions, and it's for you. And it says to journal, but I have another client who, what she did is she would she'd read the question, she'd ask the question, and she recorded it. And she said, so she recorded the answer, and then she could go back and listen. So honestly, I don't care how you do it.
Right.
What I want you to do is just, I tell people all the time, you can lie to me, you can lie to Coach K, you can lie to whoever you want to, but you can't lie to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. And if you can't sit down and be honest with yourself, then you making the changes to become wealthy isn't going to happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying until you're ready to actually be honest with yourself. You have to be willing to make some of the changes and be honest with yourself. Yeah. And honestly, one of the first things is, okay, is there a leak in how I'm spending money, or is there a leak where I'm spending my time? Am I managing my money the best way, right? Or, am I even looking at my money? And if you're not, one of those steps can be to open your bank account. It's on your phone. There's an app. And if there isn't, you can go on. All banks have apps. Okay. I look at mine every morning, and it used to, I would cringe. Okay. I'll be honest. I would cringe, and I would feel it, and I would recognize how I was feeling. Yeah. Now, if I go more than a day without looking, it causes me stress. I don't do it judgment. I go in, I look, I see what came in, what's gone out. Right. I look to see how I'm doing. And then at the end of the week, I do a more in-depth thing. And then monthly, I do another in-depth thing. But just start that small thing, just looking at your bank account, acknowledging, okay, I'm feeling tightness, but you know what? It's okay. I'm seeing it. Okay. There's not, okay. We're okay. And then close it. No judgment. Go about your day. The next day, do the same thing. You're going to see over time, then it's not so bad looking at it. Knowledge is power. We all know that.
It is so much.
So in order to change your relationship with the money that's in the bank, in order to change your mindset and the relationship and become wealthy, looking at those 5 wealth codes, part of that is looking at the bank and knowing what's going on with your numbers.
Yes, you gotta know what's going on, y'all. You can't just wing it.
Not knowing's not gonna help.
Not knowing ain't gonna help. Not knowing gonna have you overdrafts out the wazoo. Okay, let's just be real.
Those NSF funds that are no fun whatsoever. That I remember when they used to be $12.50 each time, and now they're like $39.
Yeah, facts.
Like that caused me so much more stress than anything else. I'm so glad I don't let that happen anymore.
I know, and I love that. I love that your journey was so raw and authentic. I know that, your listeners on your show are going to get great value every time. And not to mention the bomb, sassy personality that I absolutely love. But
Can't
like
help.
dropping so many gems here today, like
Thank
just
you.
talking about this thing, because people at the end of the day, what I want us to understand, ladies, is there is a shift that is going to have to take place if you want to see success on all 5 levels of the wealth code. It's just the bottom line to it. So starting small is okay.
Mhm.
Starting with one is okay. But like Lisa said, having that conversation and asking yourself, and her link to her website with her free resource for you guys is going to be in the show notes. So you will be able to access that, opt in, get that resource. And then if you have questions, definitely reach out to her. Let her help you transform how you look at money, how you spend money, how you build yourself, your personality, your values. They might change as you know what I'm saying, step
Mhm.
into acknowledgement of these things. Okay. Listen, y'all, we could talk all day because we feel like we
All
got a lot
day.
of catching up to do, but we're gonna catch
We
that off
do. We
the
have
air.
so much catching
Okay.
up to do, okay?
Let them know where they can find you at, even though it'll be in the notes, but please let them know where they can find you at on socials
Of
and all that good
course.
stuff.
On any of the social medias, including TikTok, you can find me on the Sassy Wealth Queen. Okay, that's my handle for all social medias. I made it simple. I don't know why people make it so complicated. I do
Because
not do different
they ain't
handles.
evaluated the wealth codes. That's why.
Right. I don't do things complicated. My website is transcendentwealthco.com, and the Wealth Wins checklist actually has its own link, so I'll make sure I give that to you. I
Okay.
have these gem of a team that are making my back end even more simplified.
Perfect.
Hello.
Hey, that's the power of
Like
scaling,
where
baby.
have you been my entire
Okay.
life?
The power of scaling as a business owner. Any guest on my show is open and willing to help us become the best
Mhm.
versions of ourselves as business owners, but most importantly, as a woman. Because if you don't know who you are as a woman, you are going to definitely struggle when it comes to elevating your business. All right. We purpose driven
Absolutely.
around here, y'all. So I
And y'all,
appreciate y'all.
we are here to change the world. So let's do
Period.
it.
Period, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Thank
Make
you.
sure you have subscribed, like, comment, let us know what you thought of the episode. Until next time, baby, stay up.